Guys, I'm just going to say it straight up. Start of the video. We're diving straight into it. Vinfast stock is unfortunately a scam. That could even be a bigger scam than Nikola. Now that's a big hump to jump over, but I think they may have done it. Let's have a look. Very recently, the company became listed on the NASDAQ through a special purpose acquisition company, a SPAC, through what is called a reverse merger acquisition, where the public company, Black Spade Acquisition Co., purchased Vinfast. Well, sort of. See, they only had $170 million in cash and trust, so they were only able to purchase less than 1% of the company's shares, which brings me to the first red flag of Vinfast, Black Spade Acquisition Company. Black Spade Acquisition Company is a special purpose acquisition company focused on identifying a business combination target that can benefit from the extensive collective network, knowledge, and experience of our founder and management team that is related to or in the entertainment industry. With a focus on enabling technology, lifestyle brands, products or services, and entertainment media. Once again, entertainment. While we intend to pursue opportunities globally, we will focus on opportunities with existing or future growth potential underpinned by the transformative consumption forces in Asia. Since the company's successful business combination, or at least that's what they want to call it, the company's stock's price action has been quite interesting to say the least. They IPO'd at a price of $22 a share, which translates to a $23 billion market cap. Since they IPO'd, the stock has run up over 300%. So over the last 2 weeks, 300% gains for Vinfast stock. Totally unjustified, by the way. We'll get into it later in the video. But this puts their market cap at a whopping $159 billion. That is a lot of money for a company that nobody has heard of until about 10 days ago when they IPO'd on the NASDAQ. It is ridiculous. I mean, $159 billion, that is a lot of money. But it is imperative to not overlook that the company's valuation as a whole is only a reflection of the 1%, actually less than 1% of shares that float publicly on the market. And that brings me to another red flag of Vinfast stock. Right now, the dominant headlines around Vinfast stock are that the company's valuation has surged past Ford and Rivian combined. Ford and GM, it's worth more than Ford and GM. It's all ridiculous, guys. Yes, it's worth more than Ford and Rivian combined. Yes, it's worth Ford. Yes, it's worth more than GM. It's all absurd. But let's ignore the noise and determine whether or not this stock is actually worth more than Ford and GM or Ford and Rivian or whatever the hell they're worth. Let's see if it's worth it. But first, because Nikola Motors is the unfortunate precedent that nobody could have ever possibly seen coming, we need to take a look at whether or not these guys even have a real product with real reviews. Okay, they do. So, should Vinfast be worth more than Ford and Rivian combined? Vinfast Company Presentation 2023. Starting off, we have a bunch of this is not unusual, but it's certainly annoying for somebody who just wants to get to the point, and here we have some more bogus. Okay, here we go. Outstanding speed and quality production. Here's some pictures. 2017. Company founding and facility production. Why is the picture in black and white? My iPod Touch could have taken a better picture than this one. Anyways, I digress. We solved the critical issues facing the EV industry. They actually got this part partially right. So unlike some of the other EV makers, they got this part right. Here we have some more bogus, and here's something that they clearly want you to know. Vinfast's shares surged 270% in NASDAQ trading debut. This is a big red flag. Here we have a public company straying away from the fundamentals of the stock market completely in their corporate presentation to shareholders. They're pointing at this 270% plus increase on the IPO day, but who cares? They're losing money every day they operate. It is just ridiculous, and that is a big red flag for me. Let's continue. All right, finally, we have some real information. We have already delivered with executional excellence 11,300 EVs delivered in the first half of 2023, with 26,000 EVs reserved. Not bad if we're talking about selling cars, but as I'll touch on later in the video, we're not talking about cars. Moving on, we aim to differentiate ourselves through 3 key pillars of our smart mobility philosophy. I don't even know what that means, but okay. Premium quality products. Okay, so you're targeting a premium audience. Inclusive and flexible pricing. That's quite contradictory to the first point, but okay. And also, what does that even mean? Flexible pricing. And excellent after-sales service. If my research is correct, it may actually be true that Vinfast has the best after-sales service in the world. I'll get to why later in the video. Strategic focus on high-growth segments. And they've created some speculative graphs showing just that. And again, oh, here we go. With an extensive global expansion plan. What's the plan, guys? More showrooms, 6 headquarters, and 1 new factory. Okay. Here's some more nothing, and some more nothing. Besides, here we actually have some information about the horrific charging networks Vinfast owners will have access to. Guys, if I was buying an EV and the company that I was buying from was advertising Electrify America chargers, I am running. I'm running for the hills because Electrify America is horrendous experience according to everything that I have seen. All right, so going back to the presentation, I mean, the amount of baloney in this presentation is ridiculous. And after some more nothing and nothing, the presentation is over. This presentation is Vinfast's first impression to their new shareholders. So you'd think that they'd put everything they want you to know in this presentation right here. So let's think about some of the things that they left out. Profitability. They left out, maybe they're not profitable, which, spoiler alert, they're not. But maybe they would include their plans to become profitable, but they left that out too. I mean, I'm sure it was just an honest mistake. I'm sure it'll be in the next month's report. Here we have the July report, and it is an identical report to the August report. They didn't even care to change any numbers. Jesus. Anyways, they've also left out customer reviews, and since they've delivered 11,300 luxury vehicles, you'd think that they've had some pretty baller stuff if they're truly a luxury vehicle. So let's see if we can find any ourselves. Okay, these are the search results for Vinfast VF8 car review. Let's go until we find a positive one. How about that? Car and driver, 6 out of 10. Motor trend, Vinfast VF8 return to sender. That's pretty harsh. Kenny Blue Book. First, Vinfast VF8 reviews are abysmal. Green Car Reports. Review. Don't buy the 2023 Vinfast VF8 City Edition. Helopnik. I don't really know how to pronounce that anyways. The Vinfast VF8 is simply not ready for America. The Drive. The 2023 Vinfast VF8 got skewered in its first drive reviews. JD Power. It is stylish, has a roomy, comfortable interior, and over-delivers in range and efficiency. The single display screen is unusual, but it worked. Geez, I wonder how much these guys got paid to say that. Holy cow. But hey, it's a positive review nonetheless, so let's move on. One narrative surrounding Vinfast's vehicle problems is that a lot of them can be solved via over-the-air software updates, and while plenty of them probably could be, there are also plenty of bugs in the car that are hardware-related, not solvable by over-the-air software updates. Now, I also don't believe that Vinfast is going to be able to solve a lot of their problems that are more complicated through over-the-air software updates because they use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in their cars for infotainment. Why is this a problem? A lot of people love Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. This is a problem because it shows that their software engineers were incapable of making an infotainment system that is better and more capable than Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So how are they going to solve more complicated problems like the car chiming at people until they go insane at every chance it can get? You get the point. The car is expensive and it doesn't get the greatest reviews. And if you still don't believe me on that front, go on YouTube and find me a video of somebody who's not sponsored by Vinfast giving a great review of this car. I'm very open to the idea, but I could not find one myself. Now let me show you what I found when I dug into the SEC filings of Vinfast. As I mentioned before, Pham Nhat Vuong owns an insane percentage of the company, making it suspicious that they even IPO'd. 99.7%. That is insane. If you're confused about the numbers, just read the fine print. Mr. Pham Nhat Vuong, through his direct and indirect shareholdings of Vingroup, may be deemed to control Vingroup and thus may be deemed to share beneficial ownership of the securities held of record by Vingroup. Mr. Pham Nhat Vuong is also the sole shareholder of Asian Star and the majority shareholder of VIG, and as a result may be deemed to share beneficial ownership of the securities held of record by these entities. As such, Mr. Pham Nhat Vuong may be deemed to have voting and investment control over the shares held by Vingroup, VIG, and Asian Star. Essentially, he owns 99% of the company indirectly through other holdings. And when we get to the company's sales, the picture gets even worse. Remember to view this in the context of a company that delivered a mystery number of vehicles. Besides their claim of 11,300, I could not find any recent information about Vinfast deliveries. Someone please help me. I'm for real. Drop a number in the comments. Geez. Anyway, the company generated $65 million in revenue and achieved a net loss for the first half of 2023 of over $598 million. This is a huge red flag, guys. They are boasting 11,300 electric vehicle sales in the first half of 2023. That would put them on pace for 22,600. That's pretty good, but not so fast. If you're American and you just check out their website, you'd probably think that they're selling 11,300 electric vehicles for a price of around $50,000. This would put them at revenue of $605 million, but that's actually not true. They only did $65 million in revenue. How is that possible? They're selling these cars for $50,000. Wrong. If you dig deeper into their website, they're selling scooters starting at $808 a pop. That is ridiculous. And they're counting them as EV sales, I suspect. Because in 2022, Vinfast only sold approximately 2,400 Vinfast VF8s and delivered them. So how'd they get to this 11,000 number? It has to be these scooters. And that makes sense if you just take a look at their revenues. This is absurd, guys. This is a huge, huge scam. Anyways, going back to customer service. Why do these guys have the best customer service, I say? Well, let's just read this policy real quick because it's really strange and not any other car company that I can think of has a policy anything quite like Vinfast's customer service. Vietnamese EV maker Vinfast has launched a new after-sales policy today that will give eligible customers a service voucher or cash if their EVs break down. The policy is separate from the warranty program and is valid in the United States, Canada, and Vietnam. The maker of the VF8 electric crossover made a list of issues that are classified into 3 types. This applies to the US market. Type 1. Issues cause inconveniences that do not impact the use of the vehicle. Eligible customers will receive $100 USD for each Type 1 issue they experience. Type 2. Issues render a vehicle inoperable. In addition to providing roadside assistance, Vinfast will provide eligible customers with $300 USD for each Type 2 issue they experience. Type 3 issues require a repair time of more than 3 days. From the 4th day onward, eligible customers will receive $100 USD for each additional day that their vehicle is being serviced by Vinfast. So I don't know if this is them saying, oh, this is how reliable our vehicles are. If they break down, we'll start paying you. But I suspect it's not based on their reviews. This is probably costing them a ton of money. Just kidding, because they sell no electric cars. They're selling freaking scooters. So that's why they have the best customer service in the world, because they're literally paying their customers when their garbage cars that they paid $50,000 for break. You might be wondering why I've taken an entire video to tear apart Vinfast. And that's a good question. It's because retail investors are getting scammed by Vinfast. How do I know this? Well, Google search terms is a pretty dead giveaway. When I looked up IPO market cap of Vinfast stock, I got people who ask this might also ask, is Vinfast a good stock to buy? What is the IPO symbol for Vinfast? What is the stock market name for Vinfast? What is the stock symbol for Vinfast car? It is clear that amateurs are buying the stock. If you own the stock, you are an amateur. You don't want to hear it, but I'm telling you right now, if you own Vinfast stock, you are probably 99% an amateur, and you should take your profits right now before the inevitable rug pull. Please, all the stock gamblers out there playing the stocks casino, you'll lose in the long run. Please take your profit. This video is a message to retail Vinfast investors. Please take your profit. Avoid the inevitable rug pull. And as always, Theexchanger signing off.